the next one I'm going to make is the one that the lady can apply to her knee now that the tissue's all swollen, and that is potato. Potato is a very soothing, cooling poultice, and you can grate it up on the same grater. So wherever you've got tissue inflammation, so this would be a sprained ankle which has got tissue inflammation. You could do it conjunctivitis or swollen eyes, or if someone's been welding, sometimes if they've been welding all day, at the end of the day they'll have really red bloodshot eyes. This can be great for that. It's very soothing and very cooling. So the places where you would never use ginger, you could use the potato because it's such a soothing, cooling one. Ingrown toenails, splinters. You know, if you can't get the splinter out, wake up next morning and it's all red and inflamed. What are you going to do? Put a potato poultice on it, and you make it much the same way. You just fold over the top and the bottom and then the two sides, and then you bring it round. So this would be a good size for the eye. Again, use the plastic because that stops the poultice chilling. I was asked in New Zealand to see a lady, and when she came in to see me, she had a 7-year-old boy with her, and this little boy had a very swollen finger. It was nearly twice the size. I said, "Whoa, what happened to that finger?" She said, "It's cellulitis." That's what the doctor said. I said, "Well, I can see that. What's cellulitis?" "Inflammation of the cell." I said, "But what happened?" Remember, we need to know the cause. She said, "Well, he had a blister. The blister broke. He's playing in the dirt with his matchbox cars. What's next?" The dirt gets in and then the body swelled. I said, "What have you been doing?" She said, "He's on his second course of antibiotics and he's having sleeping tablets and painkillers." This is a 7-year-old boy. I said, "Can I try something?" So I got 2 cups, one with hot water, one with ice cold. Here in Alabama, you don't have to put ice cubes in it. It's very cold. And I put his finger in the hot as what he could bear, and then in the cold. See, the alternating hot and cold, I think we talked about this earlier, it brings a massive amount of blood to the area. So your blood's the healer. The blood has oxygen, it has nutrients, it has white blood cells, and it carries away the waste. And often in an injury, the blood tends to sit or pool in the area. So you've got 2 problems. One is there's not enough blood, and the other is the blood's sort of stagnated there. So alternating hot and colds brings fresh blood in, takes the old away. Do you know, by the end of doing that 3 times, this little boy had a smile on his face. What did that tell you? He had relief. How long did that take? 3 minutes hot, 30 seconds ice cold, 3 times in a row. That's not even 10 minutes. How long does it take for Tylenol to have an effect? Half an hour? And yet his body language told me that his pain level had gone probably from 8 out of 10 to about a 4 out of 10. That's pretty good. So we made the little poultice and put it on his finger, wrapped it around, maybe a little bit smaller than this one, bandaged it on. Whenever I apply a poultice, I always ask permission to pray, and I ask God to bless this poultice. That little boy sat there for the rest of the morning just smiling, looking at me. He had relief. His mother told me later that when they got home, he said, "Can we do that again?" Because I wouldn't be surprised if it was starting to get painful again with the fluid building up. And they did it again. And she put always put a fresh one on, because this will be absorbing waste into it. They did it again just before I went to bed, and when he woke up in the morning and they took the poultice off, everything had come away. The finger was back to its normal size. He did not have another sleeping tablet, and he did not have to have another painkiller. She said, "What will I do with the antibiotics?" I said, "I'll leave that one up to you, and I can tell you what I'd do, but I'll leave it up to you." And I don't think I have to tell her what I would do. just a simple potato poultice. And I've seen many swellings come down. I've seen treading on a rusty nail, I've seen that come back down to normal. Whenever you've got red or raised, you've got to do something with that. So the hot and coals and then the grated potato, it's a really nice combination. If it's a wound that's deep, then you do the hot and coals, it will keep it open until it heals from the inside out. The only way tetanus can get a hold on the body is if it's a wound that is sealed on the outside and hasn't sealed on the inside. And wherever the wound happened, if there was a horse organism there, because horses carry tetanus. But we've dealt with many a rusty nail puncture, usually in the foot, by hot and coals and grated potato. How long do you do it for? As long as it takes. If you do it 3 nights, that might be enough. If the next night is looking red, what do? You just do it again. Just do it again. So that's the grated potato. They have slightly different areas that you use it in. What I'd like to look at now is cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is a